Hello, everyone, and welcome to my reading corner. Today is the final story in our little Halloween trilogy, but unlike the ones before, this one needs to come with a little bit of a warning. This story features themes of disturbing topics, sexual violence, cannibalism, and forced acts. If any of that makes you uncomfortable, then perhaps you should skip this one. For everyone else, enjoy. It finally went up yesterday, the damned thing. As if the next thing this city needs is more towers. And why in a residential neighborhood? This ain't damn downtown. We don't want some shiny new tower in the middle of our houses and apartments. What the fuck are those idiots thinking, adding a new tower here? I guess I should back up. Despite our egregious complaints and pleas for them not to put it here, our lovely city council decided to put a new communications tower right at the edge of the park. Right where the old oak trees used to stand, the ones kids climbed and where the joggers used to cut through on their morning runs. They cleared that whole section out, poured a slab, and now the thing looms over everything. It's hard to describe it, right? It's not tall in the usual sense, not like a skyscraper or those glittering glass monstrosities. It's thin, too thin, maybe. A black column that seems to eat the light around it. No paint, no markings, no blinking lights to warn planes. Just the slick, dark surface that almost looks wet, like someone poured oil straight into the sky and it solidified halfway. They say it's for network expansion, whatever that means. But if it's for phones or internet or whatever else they're pretending, why build it here, in the middle of homes and apartments? You'd think it'd go in some industrial park somewhere out of the way, not across from where I take my garbage out. Now, I know most people didn't pay attention while the tower was going up, but I certainly did. I watched as the crews fenced off the park and dragged their equipment in. Big trucks, cranes, men in reflective vests who didn't talk to anyone. Not a single local worker among them, I'd bet that. They worked at night. They worked at night, too. I saw the floodlights from a kitchen window at 3 in the morning, white beams cutting through the fog, shadows moving behind the tarps. The next morning, there'd be new pieces of the tower standing that hadn't been there before. I couldn't tell if they were welding or assembling, because no one ever carried anything that looked like construction materials. No girders, no cables, nothing. Just men walking around with toolboxes, checking their watches, and somehow the tower got taller. By the fourth night, the whole thing was done. Just there. A black needle against the sky. No cranes, no scaffolding left behind, no debris. The fence was gone, too. All that remained was the tower and a ring of churned dirt where the grass used to be. Now, I know all our complaining didn't stop it from going up, but it doesn't mean we have to stay quiet. We all paid good money, our hard-earned cash for these homes, apartments, and condos, and then the city decides it needs to stick some monolith in our backyard like it's a goddamn art piece. They didn't even bother with a ribbon cutting or a press release. I know that they think since this is an older neighborhood, I'm sure I'm the only resident under 60, that they can just do what they please. But they don't know these old folks. Janice would sooner knock some heads together with her cane and mark it so litigious he should work for that Nintendo or whatever. Mark my words, we make enough noise, that damn thing will go away. I hate that tower. Last night was the first night I had to sleep with that damn thing standing there, and I swear I can feel it even with the curtains drawn. It's like a presence pressing against the edge of my thoughts. Every time I close my eyes, I see it again, slick, black, and wrong. The moonlight cutting into pieces. I tried turning my bed so I wouldn't face the window, but it doesn't matter. I still know exactly where it is. You'd think a tower made of steel or whatever they built it from would be silent, but it isn't. It hums, low and steady, the kind of noise that slips under your door, crawls through vents, and seeps into your bones before you even notice it. It isn't loud enough to complain about, not in any official sense, but once you hear it, you can't unhear it. It's It's like it knows how to find the one frequency your brain can't tune out. I know I'm not the only one because Janice said she heard it too, mixed in with her complaining of the new neighbor she got in her duplex. But do you think the news reported it? Fuck no. If they had actually reported on that, maybe people outside our neighborhood would start asking questions. It's easier to say nothing, that we're just sensitive, that it's just background noise. The city loves that phrase, background noise, as if a sound that never stops is supposed to be a part of the background. And you know what else I hate? It's visible from every damn window in my place. No matter where I go, I can see it. Maybe not the full thing, but some part of it's always there. Reflected in the glass of the microwave door, glinting on the rim of a coffee mug, caught in the edge of the bathroom mirror. I tried closing the blinds, even taped cardboard over the gaps, but somehow the light still bends around it. There shouldn't even be any light coming off it. It's blacker than asphalt, but somehow there's always a faint shimmer on the wall, like it's catching the glow from a street lamp that isn't there. And then today there were more workers at the tower. What in the nine hells do they need to do with it? It's up. It's an eyesore, and the whole neighborhood hates it. Are they gonna make the damn thing taller? I swear if they do, we're gonna riot. That's what. I mean it. We've put up enough with this city's nonsense. First the traffic cameras, then the water restrictions, now this. They keep saying it's for infrastructure, but every time they fix something, life gets a little worse. These new workers aren't like the last ones, though. The others at least look like they belonged on a construction site. These ones, I don't know. They showed up before dawn, 3 of them. No trucks, no tools that I could see. Just walked straight across the park like they'd been waiting all night. They didn't stay long, maybe an hour. Flipped them off when they left. When I walked to the gas station at the edge of the neighborhood, I swear the noise was louder. I could barely hear the twink behind the register talking to me as he rang up my coffees and smokes. I told him about it. Asked if he'd noticed anything weird since the tower went up. He stared at me for a second and shrugged. Said he hadn't even realized they'd built anything new in the park. That pissed me off more than it should have. How could you not notice something like that? It's right there, stretching into the sky like a damn spine. You can see it from everywhere on the block. But he just looked at me with that blank service smile, like he thought maybe I was messing with him. I pointed at it, and he leaned against his protective glass before shrugging. Oh, that? Yeah, well, I don't live here, so it doesn't bother me. I was livid. That little bastard had the nerve to say it doesn't bother him, like the rest of us are just overreacting. I wanted to drag him out to the curb and make him look. Make him listen. Maybe then he'd hear that humming that won't stop, that low drone that seeps into everything. I wanted to wipe that stupid polite smile off his face. But I didn't. I just paid for my coffee, muttered something under my breath, and left before I did something stupid. Something that can't be excused by a new tower. The walk home felt longer than usual. The air had that weird heaviness again, like a storm was coming, except the sky was clear. No wind, no clouds, just the stillness that makes you feel like you're inside something instead of under it. The hum was louder outside than in, vibrating the soles of my shoes. It didn't come from any direction I could point to. It was just there, hanging in the air like it had soaked into it. By the time I got home, I was still cursing and sweating. The coffee had gone cold in my hand. I stood on the curb and glared at that thing, the tower rising straight from the edge of the park like it had grown there overnight. The light hit it wrong again. Even in the middle of the day, it looked like dusk around it, like the air darker where it stood. I tried to look for the workers, but the park was empty. No footprints in the dirt, no truck, no gears, just the tower humming its single long note. I downed the coffee, choked the chicken, and collapsed on my couch with my smokes. My cat joined me, an old ginger thing, and snuggled close. I knew the tower was bothering him too. Old boy never did that unless something was annoying him. He had dementia. Half the time he barely knew where he was. Don't listen to those assholes who tell you animals don't suffer and don't matter. They do, and it fucking hurts. I looked all over the news, waiting to see if anyone else had started complaining. There wasn't a single mention. Not in the city section, not in the local forum, not even on that Facebook group where everyone yells about potholes and the neighbors' garbage bins. Granted, the old folks here can't print a page off their email without calling their kids or grandkids. It's a miracle we all went down to that stupid city hall meeting where the officials just smiled and nodded and pretended to listen. We understand your concerns. Shut the fuck up. Then why is that damn tower and its damn noise still in our neighborhood? I ended up turning on one of those stupid late night soap operas and petting my old cat. It helped me not to notice the noise for a while, to pretend it wasn't there. At least the damn thing was so black you couldn't see it at night as long as there was no moon. Bullshit is what it is, I muttered, closing my eyes as the heroine learned that she was the mistress's child. Bullshit. We all went to City Hall today. We had enough. When my old cat went missing, I didn't think much of it. He had dementia and I'd probably left the door open. Poor bastard likely wandered out trying to find his food bowl, which was still in the kitchen where it had always been since he was a kitten. But then it was Janice's dogs, then Mark's, then Susanna's cats, even the kittens. By the third day, every single animal in our neighborhood had gone missing, even the ones from those fancy condos. We put up posters, combed the woods around the area. Damn, we even checked that weird empty house at the end of the street that was said to be haunted because 2 families were murdered there. No tracks, no fur, no bodies on the road. Just gone. It had to be because of that tower. That's when we decided enough was enough. Today, we met at City Hall, about 30 of us. Even got some of those fancy pants retirees to join in with us. Janice bought her cane, clutching it like a weapon. It was nice to see all the old folks up and moving again. Nothing got old bones moving like anger. The lobby was too bright. Fluorescent lights that make everything look washed out and fake, like we were standing inside a bad dream of an office. There was a receptionist sitting behind a glass barrier, chewing gum and pretending she didn't notice 30 pissed-off people crowding her desk. Janice slammed her cane against the counter. We want to talk to whoever approved that thing, she said. The receptionist looked up like we had interrupted her break. You'll need to make an appointment. With who? I asked. She checked a screen that didn't even look like it was on. The zoning board. They meet once a month, Mark said. That's 2 weeks away. You think we can sit here and listen to that humming for 2 more weeks? The woman blinked. Sir, I don't know what humming you're talking about. The humming from that damn tower this city approved to be built in our park, Mark yelled, and I felt almost proud. He looked like he was one hard breath from keeling over, but the old bastard had some life yet. I've put in a complaint every day about it, and they have yet to address the noise. There were a few mumbles of agreement from the group and an angry shout of agreement from the back. But the receptionist stared at us. Slowly, she turned to look at me, as if somehow I was supposed to disagree with my neighbors just because I was younger. Boy, was she about to get a surprise. I've complained too, I said plainly, not trying to hide my annoyance. We want that tower gone. Sir, it's not... You heard the damn boy. We want it gone. Janice interrupted the girl, and I chuckled as she jumped at the sound, her gum freezing mid-chew. I almost felt bad for her, but not really. She looked at us like we were all part of some prank, like 30 people hadn't just dragged themselves out of their homes to complain about the same thing. I'll let the zoning board know. I'll put it priority 1, the girl finally said, turning on her computer and nervously not meeting our gaze. No one is here today, but they can see you all as soon as the end of the week. Good, Mark snapped. And I will keep sending my complaints, even if I have to hand deliver them every goddamn day until it happens. There were murmurs of agreement. Some of the group near the back started to leave, but Janice and Mark stayed with me as I glared at the receptionist. I was not leaving until I had proof she sent the email and had alerted all 6 zoning board members that an emergency meeting needed to be held. It took a minute. The girl could barely focus, but I kept watching her fingers move across the keyboard. She tried to say she couldn't give proof, but I told her how to print the delivery info. No email addresses, no private info, just the email subject and the confirmation it had gone through. With proof in hand, we finally all left. It wasn't until I heard the damn noise again I realized how nice it had been not to hear it. I wish Should have stayed downtown longer, but I found myself heading to the gas station. I wasn't sure why I was going. I didn't want coffee, and I didn't need more smokes yet, but I went anyway. Maybe I just wanted to see if that twink had something different to say this time. He was there behind the counter, same bored face, same chipped name tag that only said A. The place smelled like burnt coffee and floor cleaner. A little bell over the door went off when I walked in, and he looked up, giving me that practiced customer service smile. "Welcome in. Let me know if you need something." For some reason, it made me more annoyed. I walked straight over to the glass, meeting his gaze as he looked at me. "Yeah, for you to get on your knees and stick my..." I blinked. Where the fuck was that coming from? From the boy's expression, it was clear I hadn't actually said anything, or he was just really good at pretending I didn't. His hand hadn't moved, so he wasn't hitting the panic button that called the police. But I heard it. My voice saying those words, and I ground my teeth. It was that damn tower. It had to be. "Coffee," I managed, my voice rough like I'd swallowed gravel. He blinked at me, the smile not fading but not reaching his eyes either, just that thin line of customer politeness that said he'd rather be anywhere else. He poured from a carafe that had probably been sitting there all day, slid the cup across the counter, and dropped a crumpled bill and a handful of coins between us. "You all right?" he asked, not quite looking at me. "Fine," I said too fast. "Why wouldn't I be?" He shrugged. "You were just mumbling something when you came in." I stared. I hadn't said a word when I came in. I hadn't even meant to come here. I waited for the twink to say he was kidding, that he was just messing with me because I looked stiff, but he didn't smile, didn't laugh, just kept staring at me with the same blank face. I realized then that I couldn't remember the walk from City Hall to the street. I remembered the noise starting up again, and I remembered walking to the station, but I didn't remember how I got here. Or how I knew he would be working. I tried to play it off, took the coffee and left, my hand shaking so bad I nearly spilled it before I even reached the door. The bell above me chimed again, that cheap tin sound cutting through the hum like a spark in a gas leak. Outside, the air felt wrong. The tower was taller, closer than it should have been. When was the station so close to the park? Started walking home again, careful not to look directly at the tower, but I couldn't help seeing it anyway. It's in the windows, the puddles, the reflections on the hood of parked cars. Halfway down my street, I saw Janice standing in her porch, her cane leaning against the railing. She was looking toward the park. Her mouth was moving, but I couldn't hear her over the noise. I tried to wave, but she didn't wave back, just stood there, mumbling, eyes fixed on that black spire like she was trying to remember something. I almost called out, but then she turned and went inside. The front door shut and the lights went out. By the time I reached my house, I was sweating through my shirt. I unlocked the door, stepped in, and for a second I thought I smelled something burning. It vanished as soon as I thought about it, and I stumbled to my room. I reached for my smokes and dropped my pants. I've never felt like that before, like my body was burning and I had to get it out. Even as I sweated and burned, all I could see was that stupid fucking polite smile. It was the tower. It had to be. It had to be. Our entire neighborhood is going insane, and it's that damn tower's fault. Janice was the first. No one even knew anything had happened until the police showed up. I remember the sirens in the middle of the fifth night, a harsh wailing that didn't sound right in our neighborhood. It cut through the hum for once, like the sound was strong enough to fight it back. I looked out the window and saw red and blue lights flashing across Janice's porch, painting her front windows like stained glass. 2 cop cars, 1 ambulance. The street was full of people in robes and pajamas, all of us staring, but none of us stepping closer. The hum was quieter, not gone. If a sound, like holding its breath, if a sound can do that. They carried someone out on a stretcher, covered in a sheet that didn't quite reach the feet. The police were whispering, looking at the house like it had done something to them. Janice sat on the front porch, hands shaking, face blank. The cane was gone. Her nightgown was dark at the front, clinging wet to her chest. I could see her lips moving faster now. They handcuffed her, and soon all the sirens left and the noise came back. The morning news finally broke the silence. Elderly woman kills and eats her neighbor, blames new comms tower. I hate the way those ignorant fuckers try to make it sound like a joke. Like we were all supposed to laugh at the crazy old lady who lost her mind over a construction project. They said she'd been ranting about voices through the hum and that she thought her neighbor's skin was made of mashed potatoes. The anchor smiled as she read it, one of those awkward smiles they do when they're forced to read a weird joke. I tried to call the station, told them it wasn't a joke, that it wasn't some local oddity, but the line just clicked dead. No ring, no hold music, no nothing. I tried again, but this time I couldn't even get a dial tone, just a faint vibration through the receiver, the same pitch as the tower's hum. I hung up quickly and stared at the phone like it might start speaking. So much happened that day. Bob, a man who lived the closest to the tower, was next. He was found naked, his bottom half sticking out of his wood splitter that he used to make firewood in the winter. From what anyone could tell, he had chosen to climb into it. Suzanne was found sleeping inside a wild bobcat she'd apparently killed. That woman was 84 years old. There was absolutely no way she could have done that. Even Martha, one of the younger elders, was found attempting to murder her grandson who was visiting, screaming, "He's the source of the youth!" All in one fucking day. And the police, the news, and all those fucking idiots downtown ignored the tower. Why else would a normal neighborhood filled with quiet elderly folk suddenly have 4 incidents in one fucking day, and only 5 days after the new tower? How else do you explain how elderly people manage feats that no human body could manage? They can't explain that, so they don't try. They call it stress, hysteria, early dementia. They always find a word that means not their problem. But it is the tower. I know it, the same way I know where my heartbeat is without checking. That damned tower and its damn hum is doing things to us. The 6th day was worse. More killing, more weird incidents, and even some depraved acts. The condos were burned down by a resident seeing he needed to purify their skin. 5 went crazy in one of the apartment buildings, deciding to fly from the top floor. And still, the news treats it like a curiosity. The anchor didn't smile this time. She just read from the teleprompter in that careful, neutral tone when they all use when they don't want to seem afraid. You could tell she didn't understand what she was reading. Maybe nobody does. They said the police have no evidence connecting the crimes. They say they are investigating and that until then, they are advising residents to move off the area. Where the fuck are we supposed to go? Me and all the homeowners own our houses. The apartment residents rent here because it's cheaper. There's nowhere to go. They just need to tear down that damn tower. Those of us who were still sane were ready to stomp back to City Hall again, but we were stopped by the mayor. Said she was coming to our neighborhood after learning about our complaints about the noise from the tower and the sudden spike in crime. As soon as she stepped into the park, I could tell she heard it. I could see it in her face. The exact second the hum reached whatever part of her still thought this was going to be a routine inspection. She blinked once, like a flash had gone off in her eyes, and her expression shifted. Her smile stayed in place, but something behind it turned brittle. She cleared her throat and looked up at the tower. "Well, it certainly is modern." I wanted to laugh. Modern. That's the word she had for it. Not strange, not wrong. Just modern. Mark muttered something beside me. I didn't catch the words, but it didn't sound friendly. The air around us felt thick, like breathing through syrup. The hum was low, almost under the hearing range, but it vibrated through my chest in a way that made it feel like my ribs were trying to tune themselves to it. "Where's the maintenance panel?" she asked one of the aides, squinting at a clipboard. There isn't one," he said after a moment. "Then how do they service it?" "They don't." I didn't even realize I'd spoken until everyone looked at me. I shifted, my eyes drifting, and then I saw that damn twink. He wasn't even near us, standing just outside the gas station and looking at the crowd of us at the park. I felt my neck grow warm and my stomach clenched low and hard. It shouldn't be that close. The gas station was on the other side of town, and yet here it was, like he was following me. How many times had I found myself at that gas station since the tower went up? Always when that little fucker was working. Always too damn polite, always too clean, too calm, like he hadn't heard what was happening only a few streets away. He looked the same as always, same shirt, same expression, same faint smirk that made you want to slap or kiss him or fuck him or all three. He wasn't watching the mayor or the tower. He was watching me. The mayor cleared her throat again. "I'm sure the Department of Infrastructure will look into this," she said, loud enough for someone to record on their phone, except no one had a phone out. Every single person in that park had their hands in their pockets or folded across their chests like they'd been told not to move. The aide beside her coughed and looked at his shoes. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. Then the mayor said, "It's beautiful." And I swear to God, her voice came from behind me. Everyone froze. She was standing there in front of us, one hand shading her eyes, but the words had come from somewhere else. The sound echoed through the park like it was inside the tower, like the tower had learned how to speak using her mouth. Someone screamed. Might have been Mark. Might have been me. The aide dropped his clipboard and ran. The mayor didn't move. She just kept looking up, her smile stretching until it didn't look like a smile anymore. The hum spiked so high it rattled my fillings, and then the mayor started walking towards the tower, slow and steady as if she was sleepwalking. No one stopped her. They scraped her off it later. I just went back home and jacked, fucking went at it like my life depended on it, and took all my strength to stay home. Took all my self-control not to go back to that gas station to take that little twink, and no! That fucking tower! That stupid fucking piece of metal. It crawls through the hinges and the doors, through the gaps in the walls, works into your head with that hum and makes you lose it. No, it's not a hum anymore, it's a pulse. A slow, wet sound that crawls inside my fucking skin and I can't make it leave. It infects everything, even my dreams. Slow, wet, and disgustingly warm. I won't sleep tonight. If I sleep, who knows what that fucking thing will do to me. I can't let it get me how it got Janice, the mayor, and everyone else. I won't let that stupid fucking thing and its hum get the better of me. He's here now. Things only got worse after the mayor died. Thought the government would get involved considering a civil servant was affected, but nothing happened. They just said she died of natural causes and closed off the street to our neighborhood. Blocked it so no one could leave. Fucking sacrificed us to the damn tower they put here. I don't know how long it's been. It feels like the damn thing has always been there now, standing at the edge of the park. The houses have all degraded as if they've been abandoned for years. Even the apartment and condo buildings, barely more than black, twisted frames. All but mine. I don't remember leaving home, don't remember the walk to the station that's practically in the park now. It sits right under the tower, just as black and twisted as the other houses. I went and stood outside and he watched me through the glass, that same half-smile pasted on his face. I lifted my hand, I'm not sure if I was waving or beckoning, and he came out like he'd been waiting for me to ask. No coat, no bag, nothing. Just those tired eyes, that polite smile, and a crooked name tag that only said A. The bell over the door gave its flat little ring, and the sound slid straight through the hum, bent, wrong, like metal folding in on itself. We walked back together, or I think we did. The streets looked different. Street lamps flickered in patterns that made no sense, 3 at a time, then one, then none. The tower glowed a little now, not bright, not even visible if you looked straight at it, but in the corner of your eye there was a shimmer, a pulse that moved like breath. I asked him if he could hear it. He said, "Hear what?" I laughed, or maybe cried. Couldn't tell the difference anymore. My head hurts like someone stuffed wires behind my eyes. Every time I blink, I see lines stretching from the tower, thin thread lights running along the ground, crawling up walls, slipping under doors. When I looked up at him again, they were crawling up his shoes. He didn't seem to notice. At my place, I made him coffee. The kettle hissed and the hum kept in time with it. He stood by the window, staring at the blinds like there was something on the other side worth seeing. I told him not to look. I told him to sit down, to drink, to listen. He smiled that same smile, polite, empty. "You should go home," I said softly. "This is home," he told me. "We're home now." The light from the kitchen bulb warped, a faint halo circling the outline of his head. I felt the hum crawling inside my teeth again. It wasn't just a sound anymore, it was a language. The tower was speaking, and I understood just enough to be afraid. He looked at me then, really looked. His eyes weren't brown like I remembered. They were dark, like the tower, like wet stone. I asked him if he was real. He said, "You wanted me to stay." Maybe I did. I can't remember what I wanted before the tower, before the obsession it wrote into my mind and skin, that damn hum. It grew louder. The mugs rattled, the cat bowl slid across the floor even though the cat was gone. My walls bent inward for a second as if the room had taken a breath. The light dimmed, the black shimmer in the corner of my vision spread until I couldn't see where the window ended and where the tower began. He moved closer. I could smell the gas station on him. Burnt coffee, cleaner, cheap gun. He opened his mouth like he wanted to say something, but no words came out. Just that same tone, that same hum, pouring straight from his throat. I grabbed him then. I don't remember how hard, but he didn't stop me, didn't fight me. Threw him on my table, bent him over it like all those fucking dreams the tower had forced into my nights. He let me do what not me! Not me! No! The damn tower! It made me do it! He didn't fight back, he didn't try to stop me, he just smiled, that same stupid fucking polite smile, that nothing smile. His eyes were empty as pits, so I pushed his face into the tablecloth, but it didn't stop that sound, that damn fucking hum that was so loud I couldn't even hear the sounds of him breaking underneath me. The light flickered again, once, twice, and then the bulb went out completely. He didn't move even when I did, just stayed there like he was waiting for me to come back, like he knew I would come back, like he knew what the tower wanted me to do to him. I screamed, I kicked, I screamed, I broke the table, glass, spilled hot coffee all over him, and he still didn't move. I went back and screamed more. I finally cried. He just smiled. The police haven't come. They won't. They don't come here now that my house is the only one not abandoned. No one will take him from me, and I'll make him stop. I'll do whatever it takes to stop that damn noise. That damn hum that's still coming from him.